YouTube, this is Isaac again, coming back at you with a new modification to an old device that I've unveiled for you in other previous videos. And that device is this, my Fab Echo. And the reason I bought this Fab Echo, as you probably know by now, I'm a little cheap. This thing is 15 bucks, and it works stock, okay. But there's a couple things wrong with it, especially wrong for a harmonica. Mainly, you couldn't adjust the delay time, and also it tended to sort of thin out your tone a little bit. And doing some research on the web, because that's what I spent a lot of my time doing, I actually came across two things. Actually, I came across one thing, and I was suggested to do another thing by a comment on one of my videos. And that is the chip inside here that does the delay. It's a well-known integrated chip that if you go to Runoff Groove, I think it's Runoff Groove or General Guitar Gadgets, there's actually a schematic to make your own delay using the same chip, and it turns out that chip actually has the capability to have an adjustable delay time. Now the Dan Electro people who made this thing here said it to be a slapback by essentially putting a fixed resistor on that pin of the chip. And some people discovered that you could actually pop off that resistor and attach another potentiometer, and then you could have an adjustable delay time. So I did that. I'll put some links up on that side. It's a thread in another forum, and you can see basically what to do. It's kind of a pain because the types of components they use are the surface mount, the really tiny things, so you gotta push it off a little bit carefully with your soldering iron, and then it's really difficult to solder on the wires. But essentially what I did is I did that. I did a little engineering. There's little tight tolerances inside this thing, so I actually had to mount the pot on the outside. You can see here, I'll kind of bring it up close to the camera. You can see here what I did. Yes, this looks like crap, but you know, essentially I put another potentiometer here. I mounted it with a bunch of hot glue, and then I used some of my wife's fingernail polish to get the color right. I had to drill a hole in the top to get the wires out. And now I have a fully adjustable delay time, and I'm going to play a little bit more for you before the end of this. But the other thing that I did, which makes this thing really great for harp now, is that you may or may not know most of these pedals have what they call coupling capacitors. So essentially what those do, they put them right after the input or the output, sometimes both, to essentially block DC current from getting in or out of the actual device. And so a capacitor does that. It blocks DC current, but it also has the other effect of limiting certain frequencies of AC. Now, of course, what comes out of your microphone is an AC signal. I mean, that's how you get sound. And so the value of that capacitor actually has a lot to do with the tonal frequencies that get in and out of every device. And if you have several devices in a chain, the values kind of are additive and can suck your tone a little bit. So the stock capacitor on this one was a value of 0.047 UF, microfarads, I guess. And I replaced that with a 0.1, which basically lets more of the bass frequencies in. And for harp, that's really important. That's why amplifiers made for bass guitars sound really good, and amplifiers made for regular guitars don't, because the frequency width is different for those things. And it turns out harmonica has a lot more in common with bass guitar frequencies than with standard guitar frequencies. So 2 mods on this thing, and I'll play a little bit more for you now. So right now I kind of have it with several repeats. You can turn the repeats down. Those are the stock controls. You can turn the mix, so basically how loud the echoes are. And now with my new control, I can make it a long delay time with minimal repeat, and I get something like this. Right, when I turn the mix up, you get a little noise. See? Basically gets one kind of really delayed. turn the repeats up on that, and it gets really, really crazy. You can actually start to play along with yourself. But what's interesting is actually turning the delay time down a little bit. You kind of get some neat effects, right? Of course, it retains its original function as a slapback. So I basically turn the delay time down, turn the repeats down, keep the mix in about halfway, and it sounds like this. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Listen. Gives you that sort of bathroom or big hall effect. You get lots of interesting sounds on this thing now. And like I said, the pedal was 15 bucks. I had the parts lying around. Took me an hour to do. So you tell me. I think that's a pretty decent investment. Till next time.